Curtis DIY.
DIYers, the first week sales numbers are in, and OVO fans are twerking all over the US and worldwide.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
And Indian bot farms and African bot farms, they are twerking like crazy. I fortunately haven't seen any of this with my own eyes. I just look at the words that they share on social media. But we gotta talk about this. Drake's Iceman album, plus the two other albums, have finally started to get more accurate numbers, because we know it wasn't about the music, right? It was always about these numbers to show the people that, man, a little battle in 2024 ain't do nothing from me. Man, Teflon Don with an ice pack. Chart data just declared that Drake's Iceman debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with 460,000 units first week. It will mark his milestone 15th #1 album.
The Iceman wasn't cracking in the slightest.
Man, come on.
You freaking Iceman.
What other good news we got? Drake said Drake's Iceman, this is by Kirko. Drake Iceman is set to debut at #1 with 460,000 first week units, and making it the biggest debut since Certified Lover Boy. That's amazing. Those are, if you compare him to other rappers, even though you're not supposed to, because technically he's one of the largest pop artists / rappers in the game. If you compare that to other artists, that is fantastic. But why do they keep only reporting Iceman? He did have, what was it, Maid of Honor and the... Well, here's go with some more information in case you thought we were done. Drake will officially break Jay-Z's record for the most #1 albums by a rapper in Billboard 200 history. All them Jay-Z subliminals that people picked up on, look, just to show you, the Iceman knew what he was doing. But once again, there's a large focus just on, okay, here we go. Here go the numbers now. Shout out to Hits. DD, they said Drake has become the first artist to debut with 3 new releases in the top 3 chart spots. Impressive. We talked about, before this stream, we talked about Nelly earlier, and you know, the sweatsuit. It's not easy to get 3 albums at the same time, you know, in sequence. I think that's why it's purposely, you look at the first letters of the titles, it spells out him. Oh, it's clever. Drake's clever. He is not, however, the first to have 3 best-selling albums in a single week. What do you mean? 3 Michael Jackson. Oh, that King of Pop. 3 Michael Jackson titles topped the charts in June 2009 after the King of Pop's untimely demise. So after Michael Jackson passed away, his albums went up to the top. Okay. Even though I think it's really weird to have these charts be compared to a completely different business model and a completely different focus, one on physical media versus digital media and streams, right? Because you're seeing things like Michael Jackson showing up for the first time in his career. He's been passed away since 2009. For the first time in his career, appearing on charts. But it's like, well, how does that equate on the other side when somebody in streaming just made up a number and said, this is what counts as an album? Like, we have to think about the value of those. Everybody who was around for that time, getting people to buy physical media, go out and physically buy that and then put their butts in seats. You can't buy that type of experience. But nonetheless, let's do the breakdown here. Here's where I think we start to see a little bit of some red flags, in my opinion, about these albums. So, of course, Iceman was the one that he has been promoting for the last 2 years. If you recall, we first started to get some of the promo, I think, in August 2025. So for almost 2 years, or 2024, excuse me, August 2024. So for almost 2 years, we got this campaign of live streams. We got these teasers. We got, you know, all the stuff that he did, people licking on ice cubes and all of that. It says the Iceman did 459,000 approximately, which is amazing. Drake's Habibti did 114,000. Huh. Drake's Maid of Honor did 109,000. Now, when you look at those together, it's a quite impressive number. You cannot take that away. The fact that it's one artist that's been able to do all that is incredible in itself. But when you look at these individual numbers, I think they tell a different story. Shout out to my guy over here at Hip Hop Clips 36. He's been very much making sure that these numbers stay balanced. He says here, Drake's Iceman is going to come in way under expectations and predictions at only 460,000 per first week. So I guess individually for that project, with all the anticipation of what is he going to say, how is he going to reappear after the battle, and sexy songs for menses and 100 gigabytes for your head top and 40 odd songs, people wanted to see how he was going to come back in his first solo effort in, according to this, his most anticipated, heavily marketed and promoted album, 7th most for a Drake album. The other two albums failed to sell over 115,000, which are his two lowest totals for an opening week ever.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
It says overall Drake sales 683,000 first week combined. That's an average of only 227,000 per album. Whoa. Okay, so let's look at this for a second. What this is basically saying is Drake's albums and mixtapes rank by sales, because once again, we're talking about this because this seems to be the main talking point for himself and his particular fan base. But look at this. This album that was the most anticipated after a week of collecting this information, it comes up as number 7 total in his catalog for first weeks. Okay. Some of that can be attributed to a constant decline in what his first weeks were doing anyways, because his catalog and sound started to become redundant in a lot of fans' eyes. Some of that can be attributed to the nature of streaming changing. I'm trying to find a reason. But it's interesting that these last two, which I'm sure anybody who's a fan of his is going to be like, well, he never promoted that they were going to come out. I think these are really, really, really telling that Habibti and Maid of Honor are two of the least selling for a first week. Now, most people will tell you it's because, man, it was spread over 3 albums, and some of that is true. The question is that the reason why we got 3 albums?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
Is that one of the reasons why we got the 3 albums? Did we get the 3 albums? One, because of course people keep talking about it fulfills his obligations to UMG, which I think still go beyond just number of albums delivered. I think there's a recoupment process that needs to happen in terms of actual money. But could it be that delivering something like this muddies up the expectation, right? Could 3 albums averaging 220,000 sales be dressed up as a bigger marketing budget? Could it be using volume to disguise it, is what I'm basically saying. Is it using volume to disguise it? I think most people over here would absolutely agree. This goes on to say in this thread, don't forget the same Billboard chart rules that for whatever reason removed Luther from the same charts. That's interesting. An album like Iceman doing 460,000 under the new 2026 rules of Billboard translates roughly to 368,000 under the old system. Likewise, an album like GNX doing 320 under the old rules would equal out to 400,000 under the new system. The reason is that paid streams are now weighted more heavily, changing from 1,250 streams per album per unit to 1,000 streams per unit. So these numbers have been manipulated. They've been changed to make sure that they reflect the direction that they want to go. But some people are calling it for what it is. This was interesting. Now, I don't like these damn gambling platforms, but these platforms are built off making money and people being able to fact check these things along the way. Kaushi is saying that Drake's combined first week album sales fall to a record low. This is combined all together. Okay. You get into some of the weeds of the conversation because some people are pointing to pure sales, which are when people actually buy a digital copy of the album. I don't think Drake made any physicals available, so this whole thing was based upon streams that equal out to one album sale by their metrics, and then also to these pure sales. But the pure sales, I think, is where it starts to tell a different story, because those don't even compete with GNX, which I believe cumulatively did 33,000, if I'm not mistaken. We could double check. Speaking of which, though, Curtis, don't be taking away my joy. This is my Iceman album. Look, I'm back here for your joy. Iceman sells 460,000. It will sell more units than the next 10 highest selling rap albums this week combined.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
For somebody who raps about how they are so aggressively different from everybody else and can't nobody F with them, it's interesting how the same kind of narrative that was pushing how rap was not on the charts since 1993 recently is the same type of platforms that are pushing this kind of nonsense. Well, of course, we've seen an absence. I think every single day, and these are all allegedly because I don't have any proof, I think every single day that whole dialogue was a soft launch of this project. It was a way to get the conversations centered on the thing that he cares about the most, centered around the thing that it appears that he is already dominating with these 3 albums. I think that was all a part of the plan. We were sitting here debating about hip hop and how many songs were on the Billboard charts. Who really cares about it except for this guy and the people who employ him? Yikes. I saw this and thought this was interesting. So, of course, with the first week numbers, we get the day-by-day numbers. And those you remember, GNX, day one was a surprise release that did not even get a full day of reporting, but did 44 million. Drake, after 2 years of promo, 100 gigs, and the album with Party Next Door that y'all stopped twerking to, did 140 million. Hey, man. Untouched. Untouched. Then you get to day two. GNX did 75 million, and then his did 70 million. Iceman did 70 million. Day 3, 52 million for GNX. Day 3, 50 million for Iceman. Day 4, 55 million, which is more than day 3, 54 million for day 4. Day 5, 50 million. Day 5, 49 million. Day 6, 47 million. Day 6, 44 million. Day 7, 40 million for GNX. And day 7, 38 million. I think numbers like this are interesting because although any of these numbers can be manipulated, it is somewhat of an indication of how people are feeling about the album once it has already released. Artists of this magnitude are going to always have a high interest because people are like, yo, this person that doesn't drop but every few years just dropped a full project. I got to go check it out. So first is the discovery and listening phase for an artist or our listener. And then after that becomes, do I actually like these songs?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
Will I play them when nobody's around? Am I defending these songs even though I'm not listening to these songs? Do I miss the old version of this artist or do I like this new version of the artist? These numbers, I think, are very, very telling. In fact, there's a story that I think all brings this home. I made this comparison when Drake released Nokia. I really feel like Drake is entering what feels like his version of his Ja Rule era. Let me cook. When I said it initially, I thought about what was happening when Ja Rule was battling 50 Cent, G-Unit, Eminem, Aftermath, and all these other folks. And he released a particular project, Blood in My Eye, I believe. And the project at the time consisted of majority diss songs clapping back at everybody else. Matter of fact, the single was called We Gon' Clap Back, We Gon' Clap Back, Baby You Old Up and all that. Don't know what that's about. Years later. But he released that project, which seemed like fully dedicated. The thing that made it problematic for Ja Rule at that stage of his career, because I think his is very different from Drake, but then very similar because they're at the top of the game. They do this pop style melodic rapping that has an edge to it. I think there's some really interesting similarities that I think you need to pay attention to. Shout out to Hip Hop Content Channel on YouTube. Listen to this portion and you tell me who it reminds you of. This is the rise in what he calls the embarrassing downfall of Ja Rule. Peep this out.
But even though Ja was clapping back, he couldn't compete with 50 and M. Later that year, Ja released his album, Blood in My Eye, which was basically dedicated to dissing 50 Cent and other rappers he had problems with, like DMX and everyone on Shady Records. It was more aggressive and different.
Now think about this. Iceman, specifically, It's not just a project full of Kendrick disses. You got LeBron disses, you got ASAP Rocky disses, you got Jay-Z disses, even some Pusha T. You got a lot of people who are in the scope of things. But I think that approach is very much, I'm going to clap back and go get mine. However, the timing of it is very important to pay attention to, because it's not about whether or not somebody as massive of a name as Drake can sell. We know he can sell. We know he can stream. He should. He's been built by the machine. It's about, how does that compare to the projects you put out before? Because that's ultimately what's going to determine your leverage when negotiating new deals.
Then the melodic pop rap style that had made him famous. The change in style clearly didn't work for him, because critics bashed the album and it only sold 140,000 copies in the first week.
Critics bashed the album and it only sold 140,000 odd records the first week. Now, obviously, Drake obliterates that with his name, with the amazing rollout and campaign that went behind that. I mean, arguably with maybe some bot action from India and Africa, as we'll talk about in just a second. Allegedly, all allegedly. But nonetheless, it just shows you that that's where the separation is. But still, even for a Drake release, I think there's a similarity in that. Yeah, those numbers are still impressive, because I think this album, Blood in My Eye, showed up at number 6 or number 7 on the charts for Ja Rule overall on the Billboard charts. It's impressive compared to everybody else, but we ain't talking about everybody else. We're talking about you and the trajectory that people have the expectation for when you drop. Peep this out.
Making it his lowest selling project to date. That was basically the beginning of the end for Ja Rule.
Okay, so Blood in My Eye, with all these similarities that it has to Iceman and its vindictive get back energy, it was his lowest selling project. Now, he only had one album to judge that off of. Drake has 3 albums, which I think might be buying him more time, because once again, the theory that I'm pushing forward to you is that so Ja Rule's commercial decline happened fast and visibly. Matter of fact, when he was releasing that project, he was still beefing. He was still putting out diss songs while putting the album out full of diss songs. He was actively in it. We're 2 years removed now. Ja's commercial decline happened fast and visibly. Drake's is happening slowly, and he's using volume to disguise it. He might have bought himself some time.
The Iceman wasn't cracking in the slightest.
Come
No.
on, you freaking Iceman.
Because think about it, 3 albums averaging 227,000 is the Ja Rule outcome, dressed up in a bigger marketing budget and perhaps some African and Indian bots. I keep specifically saying those regions, not because I'm being xenophobic. I got some stuff I want to show you. Before we get into that, OVOers, how we feeling, man? Y'all good? Y'all over there partying the shebang? You over there partying remember when Game got on that interview with Complex and he said, man, the clubs ain't been the same since Drake been gone. Come back, Drake. Come back. Make these VIP lounges and these bottle services, make them fun again. Make the clubs great again, Drake. Slow it down. You see what I just did? This DJ was spinning. I just happened to see this on my timeline. I don't know why he shared, but look at what Shebang's got the people doing.
What do I need? I'm hitting. Shorty keep asking the date. She trying to finesse poly.
2 dudes dancing and everybody just standing. Huh. This is in Charlotte. It checks out. Drake, that female fan base has been replaced by the mans and thems. You got them. You got them. There used to be a time, ladies and gentlemen, that when the Drake album dropped, you just go look at the closest batter you can find and say, what's the temperature? Because Drake was making music that made the baddies come out and therefore made the guys say, I got to get on my Drake behavior. Never I, but maybe some of the guys who are out here. What happened? No, not what happened, Curtis. You're asking the wrong question. You said the Kappas going to be Kappas. Shout out to the Kappas. All I know is these 2 individuals who are moving so sultry to this shebang. Drake, if this is the demographic you want to get to, the menses that be dancing with each other. A win is a win, baby.
The Iceman wasn't cracking
win is
in
a
the
win.
slightest.
Come on, you freaking Iceman.
Thank you, Drake, for bringing back the fun to the clubs. It's interesting, boy, oh boy, when you start to think about what happened to these numbers and why are these numbers not where they projected, you can't but help to dive in some of these conversations with people who are at the source of different cultures that Drake happens to colonize. He happens to visit sometimes. You know, like the Bay Area. So, some gentleman went out here, I believe RJ Acosta, walked around the Bay Area and asked him, "Hey man, how you feeling about that Drake too hard for the radio? You like that? You like that? You like that?"
What you think of Drake's Too Hard for the Radio?
Trash. There was no homage paid. It's a difference when you throw like a piece of lyric in there, but when you sitting here taking his whole 8 bars,
should have left the legendary song alone.
Too hard for him.
Disrespected the Bay like that.
What?
What's wrong with him?
Too trash for the fucking radio.
What you think?
No. That's not, no, that's propaganda. That's Drakeaganda. That's Iceaganda. And it ain't like it's just us who feel that way. Even, the white kids that Drake was defending when he was throwing shots at Kendrick, you go out there, you got your white fans feeling guilty. That's the whole shtick. You got your white fans feeling guilty. Why'd you do that to him, Kendrick? Then you go back to your mansion in the Beverly Hills. You give out turkeys every once in a while. Weird flex, bro. What happens when your Caucasian friends start making content like this? Dan Carney says he's Drake's ghostwriter. Huh?
Kendrick Lamar was so short. My name is Dan Carney, and I am Drake's ghostwriter. Okay, well, technically I'm the janitor at the studio that he records at, but I wear many hats. Basically, while I'm cleaning the studio, what I like to do is I like to find some of Drake's notebooks and make my own little revisions. We'll just get rid of that. I've never rapped before.
I swear to you, this feel like the content we were covering during Not Like Us. I forget when them two white podcasters said, "He's just like us. He's just like us." I promise you, it's
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Lord have mercy. We must stay
It's feeling like that all over again. Not Dan getting jokes off.
I never thought about rapping, but something in my brain just clicked. Shebang. This is my...
Said, shebang.
Thought about rapping, but something in my brain just clicked. Shebang. This is my talent. What do I need? Some head. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I can just write about Drake's life.
So white man said, I could just, for some reason, I can just write about Drake's life. What happened? What happened? This is part of the okay, so there's a rollout and there's a roll in. Right after the project drops, you roll in the jokes. This is all part of the campaign. OVOers, do not panic. It's all part of the master plan.
New thing, don't know how I live. I guess I have a gift for it. She's shopping at Erewhon. Drake is still the genius, right? He's the one who has to go out there and have sex with the women and buy the expensive cars and go on a boat. I couldn't do that. I didn't even know these were real. And Drake has to do all of that at 40 years old. Yeah, I don't know what Drake thinks when he finds the additions that I've made in his notebooks. Maybe he thinks it's himself. Maybe he thinks it's a literal ghost. Well, that feels done. I'm sort of like the Good Will Hunting of rap lyrics.
Oh my.
Good job, Dan. Maybe I'll get to work with him next.
Good job, Dan. Good job, Dan. Boy, oh boy. See, I don't think back in 2024, when he was battling Kendrick, I don't think he anticipated that all of these rap shenanigans would, I don't think he thought it was going to reach this audience, right? I think he thought it may be a segment of that audience, but they're going to always love him because they blindly love him and they see a little bit of themselves in him and he's a little bit MAGA sometimes. I don't think that he anticipated that I don't think he anticipated that there would be bar mitzvahs playing Not Like Us. I don't think he saw that. I sure didn't see that. But there's something interesting about what's going on here because You mean to tell me after 2 years, damn near, August 2024, when you started rolling out this project, Iceman, and you talking about Ain't No Gang 2s, you was in there dancing in the ice machine, and you was in there taking random trips around the city saying, oh yeah, I'll come back to me, Crody, I say that again. You were doing all of this shit, all these hate campaigns that we think might be going out here, and this is the numbers you did. Once again, impressive for anybody, but for you, it's a red flag, I think. Not to mention, let's get into some of these campaigns. Boy, oh boy, let's get into some of these campaigns. Did you see this one? I no longer believe that these things just happen by accident. I truly believe, and I'm going to show you a little bit of proof as we go through here. I truly believe that every time he drops now, part of his rollout is making sure that there's some kind of smear campaign going simultaneously against anybody who's ever said anything negative about him.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and
He just that petty. When you think about the shots that he even sent at ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, like, how you know Rihanna didn't post? Like, man to man, how you know Rihanna didn't post ASAP Rocky's album? Your baby mama didn't post your out. How do you know that? What time in the day do you have time to go check on your one thing from years and years ago to see if she posted her husband's album? How do you have this information? How did you know that Kendrick's fiance wasn't following him back on Instagram? What are you searching? Nobody ever calls that out. Everybody coddles that Canadian, and I hate it. Cornbread colored Canadian. Everybody coddles him. We see you. We got the same internet there, Drake. Keisha, I thought this was interesting. 2 different platforms. One of which is a gentleman that is based out here on the West Coast, Poetic Flacco, said the following words. Please prepare yourself for this one. Kendrick Lamar reportedly lost it and trashed the studio equipment worth thousands after learning that Future was on Drake's Iceman.
somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
This sounds like fan fiction that Drake made.
The Iceman wasn't cracking in the slightest.
Come on, you freaky Iceman.
Can you imagine having all the power and the money within this industry just to make fan fiction to send to a PR to send out in black? What you mean, Curtis? Oh, this wasn't the only person that posted that. Verbatim. Rap Crave, another platform. Verbatim said Kendrick Lamar reportedly lost it in trash. Where everybody trashing? Studio equipment worth thousands after learning that Future was on Drake's Iceman. So you mean to tell me, after going on that back and forth with Drake for them 5 business days before he wrapped them up, you mean to tell me after going through Juneteenth and the pop-out show, you mean to tell me after the Not Like Us video, where Kendrick has pretty much stayed pretty stoic? They don't like us. They don't like us. You get the bang unless you disrespect, huh? He has been stoic the entire time. You mean to tell me the thing that sent him over the edge is Future? Being on a song that he should get writing credits because he kind of named, because it's called Run to Atlanta?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Be for real. Nigga, be for real. That's what sent him over the edge? Does he even look like the type of person that would destroy? Like, what are we talking about right now? Are you serious? Identical messaging. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I saw this one. I thought it was really interesting. Right. Okay, so shout out to Miss Hummus. She posted this up. I think there's a certain type that's out there. There's a certain type that's out there. We're going to get back to the bots and all that. But it's a certain type that's out there that not are just fans of Drake. You a fan of his music? You a fan of his music. You just like great music. It's not that deep. Let it be deep for us who do think it's that deep. We have these conversations. But if you identify with him as a man, if you look to him like he's Don Miguel Ruiz and he's giving you the 4 laws of life, it might be some time to do some soul searching. He did not write the 4 agreements. I don't even want to know what the 4 Drake agreements would be. Watch this real quick.
People hate Drake. I'm just like, yeah, these are the niggas that don't get pussy.
They don't get it. They just don't get life.
Bro, like, if you really out here fucking with these hoes,
Those who do not like Drake are the, quote, niggas that don't get... You'll see. Ladies, I see a perspective I have never seen before. I feel for you. This is the dating pool. Some guys are the type who flat out will do the most outrageous and outlandish shit to get their way with women, right? They'll mess with their drinks. They do that, right? They put Quaaludes. They do the shit that Cosby was accused of. Then there's some guys who I think that their new drug of choice literally is Drake.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
If you reel that back in, what I get from this is I don't get sexual intercourse unless Drake is the connector to the person I want intercourse with. That's how I interpret that. But look at how Will Mills breaks this down. Shout out to Will Mills.
Those dog, having these experiences, and you get it. Like,
get the fuck out of here, man. Drake makes music for nerds who have dreams and aspirations of one day to get women.
Is it starting to make sense now?
Because that's what he was. Drake had to gain weight, get money, grow a beard for women to look at him any kind of way. That nigga had to become a megastar for women to want him.
It's always the ones that be like, man, the ones you don't get Drake, it's because you're not getting any vagina. No, I think you're not. I think you're projecting. I think your name is Sony because you're projecting. I think your name is whatever brands of projectors they are. I think your name is AMC Theaters because you're projecting. You look at him, it's like you think you got the kid of litter, like my grandfather used to say. You think you just got all the choice, you got all the fish in the sea. Boy, if you don't.
You think women was attracted to this nigga?
Absolutely not, son.
Why you think Drake got so many songs crying about how somebody broke his heart?
Because he's a very sensitive individual.
How women didn't want him, how they didn't like him. Now that he got money, they want him. Anytime a man is always talking about something out loud, it means it's new to them or they're not used to it. Men who really get women don't gotta say nothing about it, bro. It just is just a part of your daily life, your daily activity. 98% of the...
Matter of fact, the ones that's really problematic, that do operate like that, they kind of want you to be quiet about it. You blowing up the spot. Like, don't be saying I got all kind of, I don't got no girl, I don't got, nobody be, my phone be dry. Like, those are the ones you really should be careful.
Niggas who are fanned out by Drake are lames. It's dope to be a fan of Drake's music. Drake makes incredible music. But to be a fan of him as a man, that nigga's corny as hell.
Oh.
He's always been corny as hell. Just remember, son, in existence in this world, there are groups of men who dress up like Drake and party with each other.
And there's no bitches there, son.
Oh.
So these are the niggas that Drake make music for. Niggas like them and niggas like you. Pack you up, son.
Pack you up, son. Shout out to Will Mills, because I think he breaks that down very, very, very brilliantly. It's the truth of the matter. Damn it, it's the truth of the matter. Ooh, okay. Let's actually wait on that one. Nah, let's not wait on that one. Let's get straight to it. Drake's biggest fan. Somebody else who also knows a thing or two about ice.
The Iceman wasn't cracking in the slightest.
Come on, you freaky Iceman.
I said somebody else that knows a thing or two about ice. Can't get enough of this Iceman album. What you mean?
Where's the goat? They need one. The mirror's right here. I see one.
I'm muting it because I don't want to get flagged. Anybody see an issue here? Yeah, that's from the official White House TikTok account. That's now the third song that they have used. Because damn it, they love this album. You know who didn't post Ja Rule album? George Bush. You know what I mean? Like you gotta weigh the numbers. But you know they're gonna spin it. Oh, you know they're gonna spin it. Cause man, right now is a celebratory time, baby. It's a celebratory time, baby. Drake's Iceman sold 460,000. Habibdi, 114,000. Maid of Honor, 109. Numbers people can even dream of. 683,000 album units sold across all 3 projects. Don't you let anybody tell you any different. Especially if you own Twitter, X. Mama named him Twitter, I'm going to call him Twitter. Here goes somebody else that I see on the For You page for whatever reason. Maybe because it's the stuff that ends up pissing me off. Dom Lucre, who posts a lot of right-wing content and things like that. He said, Drake, you just got the worst people that come to your defense. He says, numbers are being slashed. This is disgusting. UMG couldn't accept the loss gracefully. They had to play industry games to stop Drake from getting 1 million. It is the most viral album of the year. You don't have to like him to admit this. People advocating for the label is like hoping the government beats the people. It's always us versus them in the end. He's talking about Iceman. Anyone against the system is standing with you. He deserves better. So you mean 683,000 is not enough? Continuing down here, here's another fan page. Idiots don't understand that 3 albums takes listens, aka streams from the first album and from each other. Instead of playing one, you play with you like all on 3, which realistically makes all... Look at this one. This says it's an account called It's Just a Meme. 683,000 combined, and people still typing Drake fell off with tears in their eyes. You know what game I like to play now? Make sure I get this on screen. You know what game I like to play now? Here's my favorite game. Go to the account, click on joined, and see what country they're from. Oh, Africa.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
This is not to say that there are not genuine Drake fans that happen to live in Africa, but it is to say there's an awful lot of bots. You can look in the streaming numbers on Spotify. There's an awful lot of bots in specific areas. I tend to see them in South Africa. I tend to see them in India, and I tend to see them in Turkey. It's just one person, Curtis. It's just one person. Let's go back. Who else is over here? I love this game. What else we got here? What does this say? Where's another one? Let me give another one here. What is it? All this hype. Hold on. Here we go. Habibi and Maid of Honor. They always look like you got to see when they use photos. They always like to use photos. Habibi and Maid of Honor adding 6 figures each is like it's nothing. Love them or hate them, the numbers don't debate. Yeah, because the numbers can't speak. Who this person from? Where join 2023? Where you? Not Nigeria. I know you lying. I just fucking know you lying. Drake, if this is the case, you should be forget the US and forget Australia. Where's the stadium tour in Africa? Cause boy oh boy, they tend to love some Drake. Everybody loves Drake. Oh man. Do you guys think this is enough to settle the GOAT conversation? Let's check this one out. Where you from? Zambia. Okay. It's just getting laughable at this point. And like I said, this is not, I'm going to switch windows for a second. This is not to say like there are not genuine fans. He is a worldwide artist. He's a worldwide artist. You put some respect on Drake Keisha's name, damn it. You put some respect on his name. And it ain't the only ones that feel that way. You know who else feel that way? You might know him. His name is Music Snow Child. With a Kufi on his head, listen to what Jack Harlow had to say about Iceman. I know everybody's dying to hear it.
Jack, tell me about the Drake albums. What's your take?
I said with a Kufi on top of his head, listen to what Jack Harlow has to say about...
They're a pleasure to listen to.
Which one's your favorite if you have?
Iceman. Yeah, I enjoyed
with a Kufi. This white man has a Kufi on his head. I don't even know if I need to drive the point home anymore. This is utterly, you know how shit become, you know, like when like You know how like you wake up, you stub your toe, and you be like, oh man, that hurt. And then you stub your toe again, and you be like, okay, that hurt. And then you stub your elbow on the way out, and you're like, oh damn, that's kind of crazy coincidence. And then you walk into the door, and then the door hits you. You're like, okay, guy, you just playing with me. I'm Truman now. I'm a Truman Show. This is what I feel about when I see this stuff. What do you mean, Jack Harlow with a Kufi has an opinion about? I'm not even gonna finish that statement. Botman, yeah, that's me. Boy, oh boy, because you can't help but bring the conversation at some point back to, if these are the numbers that you have settled on in the most important crossroads, one of the most important crossroads of Drake's career, after a battle, like after, you got to compare this to Scorpion, after he went and he got obliterated by Pusha T. People were like, he's still alive. He showed he could still find success in this era afterwards. It was another, notch in his belt, right? Now you're looking at something that feels irreversible because the people now have a perspective on the workings of what you're doing, and it looks weird under the light. I'm telling you, these first week sales, although impressive, I think they're a warning. And I think they're full of red flags because we haven't even taken into account, what if these are actually botted as well? I guess I wasn't the only one that noticed all these accounts. Shout out to Dre. Dre said, these African bot accounts still spewing anti-Kendrick rhetoric I see. I guess I wasn't the only one. Drake's South African region has infiltrated my tweets saying GNX is a good album. This shit's hilarious. Boy, if you don't... But this is how the industry has worked, and it's not just Drake who has took advantage of these particular things. I saw this by Trevor Noah, and this is not the first time that Trevor Noah has said something that has been really eye-opening about the music industry. And this is, as a comedian, as former host of The Daily Show, he's not the person that you would probably go to for this information, but I think he has a really dope way of making it clear for an audience who probably otherwise would not care unless they were part of the same industry. Listen to what Trevor Noah has found out and see if it applies broader to the conversation we've already been having. How the music industry is faking viral success, not just for a Drake allegedly, but for others as well.
So music used to be a very different game in that, like, the way you would get an artist to blow up was really defined by the labels for the most part. They told a radio station, play this person.
Right. Yeah.
We'll give you the resources, play this person. And that's how you became a star. Things started changing with streaming, with social media, with all of that, because now labels couldn't dictate it the same way. But they have found something that's been really effective now, and that is, and I think Drake did this for his latest album.
Yes,
it's pretty
I've heard
brilliant.
When your little brother be like, I beat the game. I beat the game. Did you beat the game without any cheat codes? Go back and beat it again.
Yeah.
They've gone out to everyone online. Not just like quote unquote influencers. They got you join this platform. I forget the name of the platform.
Don't worry, I got your back. There's plenty of them. Allegedly, according to Hip Hop Clips, and I saw this clip last year, Drake's been using apps like WAP, House of Carmen, Bounty OS, Stimmel, Song Push, and Gust. And what these websites basically do, he's going to explain it, is that they pay users, whether you're a fan or not, to clip up your own content, and based upon the amount of views that you can bring in, botted or otherwise, they'll promise you a certain dollar amount. They'll make a certain amount available, and you can make money as somebody who would have just been a listener. You can make money now clipping and being part unofficially of their marketing campaign.
How much money did you make this month?
Last 4 days on one dashboard we have 26K.
Verified.
And on another dashboard we have 51K. So
remember when people listen to music because they liked it? I mean, I'm not going to disrespect the fact that this is a whoever came up with this, no matter how cheat coded it is a brilliant marketing plan, but this is not fan activity anymore. This is incentivizing people. Hey, you can pay your bills. You're just not on payroll.
It's about 70K this month.
How old are you?
20.
What's it like working with Drake?
It's insane. I started working with Drake and PND's team like...
I forgot the clip even went there.
2 weeks ago. and it's like been insane. It's like the coolest client I've ever worked with.
Yeah, and you guys like knocked it out of the park with them.
Yeah, we did 53 million views in a week with about 13K in Clipper spend.
Dude.
I forgot to even mention his name on that clip. Oh my gosh. Now, streamers use these kind of clippers on a regular basis is what they do. It's how they feel so, especially if you're on Twitter, it's how they feel so omnipresent. It's how they feel like, damn, why do I keep seeing clips of this person? I never watched this stream. Why do I keep seeing it? It's because clippers are at work. Not just at work for the streamer. They're at work. They're literally at work. So when you start to see tweets that sound absolutely ridiculous, maybe even written by ChatGPT, and it happens to be somebody that's from India, it happens to be somebody that's from Turkey, or it happens to be somebody who happens to be in South Africa, you gotta question, what's the incentive? Especially when they can not only get paid as a clipper using one of these websites, but they can also get paid through Twitter's monetization programs. You're not making fans. You're making employees to make it seem like you got fans. Does this not sound ridiculous to nobody?
His album went #1.
And his album went #1. How are you feeling about that #1 there? Did your ice melt yet? Finish this off there, Trevor.
And essentially it sells the services of just the people online. And what happens is I can come on there and say, as Trevor, I have a campaign that I want to launch. I have $10,000 and I pay it to the service. The service then goes out to everyone who signed up to it, who's just a regular person online, and says to them, hey,
play the song.
Find a way to play the song, find a way to make this campaign go viral.
Somebody recently, I didn't put this up here because I didn't think it was relevant, but out of nowhere on his stream, Aiden Ross started to talk about Iran and started to talk about his predictions of where things were going. And at the same time, this person showed screenshots from multiple Discord and multiple dashboards for jobs for these clippers, and basically said that there is a new campaign allegedly tied to the White House that wants people to have discussions that are centered on this particular thing. So if you are a streamer or a content creator, you can feed your clippers literally by talking about this, and it's an ecosystem that just looks so sus under the light. Matter of fact, just as sus as the steak lawsuits that we haven't forgot about either, right?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
Oh yeah! Or like the Kool-Aid man would say, oh yeah!
And we pay you per view. So you don't pay people who failed. It's not like putting up a billboard on the highway and hoping people respond. No, you now go, oh, wow, that was an amazing dance Christiana did. She got 2 million views on that. We now pay her for the 2 million views. And then Tracy did something, it didn't catch on, so we don't really pay her for that. And so you are paying for performance. But what it does, though, is it creates a false idea of what trends are.
Popular, that's right.
Because now you've paid people to make a trend, and because everyone's trying to chase the money, it makes it seem like there's a trend when there is no trend.
Now think about this. The people that get paid are the ones who meet their quota. The clippers, they meet their quota, right? There's a job. If you can get this amount of views, then you're on the radar. What about all the people who may not be getting 1 million views, 50,000 views? What about the people who get 300 views and it's below quota? They still got 300 views. Now, when you think about all the people who cumulatively make up the people who are falling short, that's still promo. It's still promo. Somebody still saw it. Now think about all those folks combined and how those numbers end up helping the bottom line of the other artists or the artists that they're doing this for. This is wild.
And so I'm saying people could pay.
Can I put an addendum? What I love about the music example, I just want to say this. They borrowed that from politics.
I did not know that.
I wonder who did that. It wouldn't be MAGA, right? I saw Drakey.
The political influencer model, starting under Barack Obama, it started to mature later.
It's so political to me.
Was exactly that. Make this go viral, make this candidate seem inevitable.
Oh, wow.
Trump just did it better and at scale. He seems inevitable with a minority of the voters because he uses audience, influencers, to, this is wonderful piece.
So Trump uses, allegedly, the Trump campaign uses clippers right? Okay, she's getting ready to cook too and talk about how at some point Obama had used a form of that as well as part of a campaign. Got it. All right, so Trump uses those, and he also like Iceman. Okay. And he also utilizes a campaign tactic that he got from Steve Bannon called flood the zone. Oh, kind of like what Drake has been doing the last 2 years. Flooding the zone, the platforms, the blogs with all this unnecessary information. Drake cut his braids off. Who cares? Drake got real abs now. Who cares? He got his LeBron James tattoo covered over. Who cares? It becomes so much nonsense that even when I go back through my notes of all the stories I've done, I forgot about some of the nonsense that he allegedly did or people around him did. But that's the point, is to overwhelm you with so much information that you just settle. It's almost like looking at a menu at a mom and pop shop. You've never been there before, a mom and pop restaurant. You're going to end up buying the cheapest thing, but you bought something. Yeah.
So, I think in the New York Times like a week ago about this sort of like hidden influencer economy of politics, and how Trump is like just bypassing the media altogether and going straight to this. And it is embedded in the White House press machine. This has gone mainstream. Music was actually late. We did this in politics already.
I prefer my music when it was not on that side of things. I prefer my hip hop when it wasn't on that side of things. This is nasty work. This does, I think, signal a red flag in many different ways. I think I've broken down a few of those, but nonetheless, where is this going? Right? Because one can make a strong argument that the numbers that you are seeing right now are reflecting someone who still has a lot of power in this industry. But if you look at this from a zoomed out lens and you look at it before the battle and just kind of take the battle out of it for a second, the numbers were already declining. All these conversations I keep hearing about, oh man, the next deal is going to be $5 billion. From who? Is Bezos finna give a deal out? Who is the $5 billion finna go to for a deteriorating asset? Especially for an asset like this that requires so much in order for the machine to go. We gotta get clippers. We gotta make sure that we put the smear campaigns out there. We gotta make sure we check Rihanna's Instagram. Is she posting SA bracket? We gotta make sure that we talk about LeBron. Is LeBron still playing? Is he gonna retire? Do we got information? You gotta do all this shit, plus put marketing dollars behind it, plus get ice that streamers can lick, plus music that men can twerk to. That's a lot. Do you want that? Especially if it's not doing a return upon investment. That is my main point. DIYers. Those are a few of my thoughts. You let me know what you think.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.